What's happening, guys? It's Zed here. How you all doing today? So we're going to be doing something a little, well, I say a little bit different. My channel's kind of been incorporated as both kind of a tech and gaming channel for a little while now. You guys are perfectly aware of it, and you kind of enjoy the content. Awesome. Thumbs up, by the way. So we're going to be talking about a beginner's guide, and I do mean beginning here, for, of course, Ethereum mining or cryptocurrency mining. Okay, now what I am doing just now is I've done a setup, as you guys can quite clearly see, and of course, this is what we're going to be working with, so hopefully you guys enjoy. So basically, you get the idea from the boxes and everything else in front of the other system at this moment in time. Basically, what I'm running here is, as you guys can probably see and everything else, just so that I can do a run through for you guys, is I do have a AMD A10 7890K overclocked actually to 4.5 gigahertz, which is very, very nice. It's also running massively overkill on the RAM. You do not need this much RAM for anything to do with mining. A minimum would be around about a 4 gig DDR3 package, as it is. If you are running, of course, older AM3 components like myself, then of course a 4 gig DDR3 would be fine. Anything newer, probably just 4 gig as well, just basically for it. Of course, 32 gigs of RAM in here, massive overkill. Do not need it, not advised, but hey, it's still in there. I didn't want to mess around with the system. I do have a dual GPU setup, which is a lot better because you're getting kind of twice the performance as it is for, of course, the mining that you're doing. Now, you can necessarily buy these separately as it is, but I would generally advise using a dual GPU setup simply for the fact of more money, your pocket, everyone's happy as it is. So basically, power supply, 650 watts is not overkill. It's only a small mining rig for the moment. Until I decide to go massively all out and spend an absolute fortune on it. It depends really, because I know that there are specific companies like, for example, Asus, Nvidia are certainly looking into it. I know that there's going to be a fair few graphics cards coming out specifically for mining, which are going to be known as mining GPUs as it is, which are specifically designed for this. But yeah, anyway, enough of me rambling on about this type of stuff. Let's get into the temperatures and everything else. Now, of course, having these type of components running all day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because to mine, you need to have this. I mean, you need to actually generally have as much power as possible going into the system. I would advise that you do have a nice, cool, quiet room where there's not very much going on, and then, of course, move onwards from there, like seek a separate cooling solution. For example, I'm cooling my CPU at this moment in time with an AIO liquid cooler. 240 rad, I think it is. Yeah, 240. Yeah, that'll do anyway. And basically, I would generally advise using the same type of thing, because your CPU, if you are going to choose to mine with your CPU, in which you can do, which we will look into later, is going to get toasty. And that means that the whole room is going to get very toasty. So ample air solutions and ample cooling solutions are always advised. Anyway, guys, we're going to go on to some screenshots and kind of live recordings as it is just now, just showing you about what software to use, how to set it up, and further opportunities from there. So of course, stay tuned. Okay, guys, so basically we're back just now, and we're looking at a desktop. Yes, Zed, that's a desktop. Okay, but this is my live mining PC just now. So I am mining just right here, right now. I will show you that within the next few moments. But first, what I would like to recommend is a few sites and everything else to go to before you even think about this. You've got to find out for yourself whether or not this is applicable for yourself. So what I have done here is I have actually got a very, very useful site that I do use myself, and this is called whattomine.com. If you Google it, it will come up with this site as it is. It gives you all of the current cryptocurrencies and everything else. There are an absolute ton more. But of course, these, I mean, there's different coins. There's Ethereum Plus. I don't know what the hell that is. But yeah, anyway, this is going to give you basically a layout and an average. And I do stress here, guys. I'm stressing like a lot. Flapping hands and everything else for yourselves. So it is 100% a guide on basically how much you can be expected to make and expected, of course, daily costs, etc. So what I have here is you go over here, very, very user-friendly site as it is. You basically select every single thing that you want to basically use as your GPU, whether it's AMD. AMD will appear, of course, red. And then, of course, you've got NVIDIA over here, which appears green. Okay, and then, of course, you just double check into here and you type in like 50 or whatever else. However many GPUs you want to use, you can have an estimate for it. Okay, so basically, I have set up in here already my two RX 470s, as you saw within, of course, the part reveal, not even reveal, the parts that I showed you earlier on. You would just basically select that as it is. You would then put in how much power your power supply is going to be using. Like, for example, within watts, you would have then your calculations and everything else. So you would just click on the calculate button. And of course, for myself, it's shown here with a 240 watt power supply, which is not accurate for me because, of course, I do have a 650 watt power supply. It costs me around about 58 cents a day. Now, in comparison for that 58 cents a day, you're thinking, well, what the hell's that for? Down here is where you want to be looking. At this moment in time, with two GPUs, I will be making approximately $9.85. That's a 100% use rate, and that's on a daily basis. There's a lot of very, very large numbers here, but the green one is the best one and probably the most recommended one to actually go for. So, how the hell do we get this, Zed? You know, you may be asking yourself that question just now. I shall show you. We are going to be using, first off, I want to recommend getting WinRAR for yourselves because, of course, whether you're Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 7, every single version of WinRAR is available on rarlab.com. So let's just get that out the way. And, of course, this is the program that you're going to be using. No, not Google. NiceHash Miner. Now, very, very user-friendly, very, very simple to use. All you got to do a download. It's going to come up and say some type of warning about something or else or other. There's no dangerous files here, guys. Trust me, Chrome may block it, etc. Trust me, it does not have anything dangerous in it at all. I can personally guarantee it. But then again, I'm not responsible for anything. Okay? Simple, right? Superb. So, basically, you download that file, and of course, then it goes onto your desktop. You literally have the same as I've got here, and then you basically just double-click on the NiceHash Miner icon. It should automatically load up everything else. It's got all the different drivers for OpenCL, for AMD, for NVIDIA, for everything else like that. There are additional files available from, of course, the NiceHash website, which goes under the software. You can get additional AMD GPU mining utensils here, which are always good, and you just load them into the log files as it is. So, now we are going to get right into basically showing you what it is that we're using. So, check this. Yeah. You will also need to install everything after extracting. You must extract it to a certain file type. Otherwise, if you just extract, for example, the exe, it will not work. Simple as. So, first things first. NiceHash Miner. As you guys can see, wow, we've gone down. Wow, that's a major drop. So, I am going to make you guys aware that, as of course I just got caught out there, it is extremely volatile currency that we are using. Okay, it can change on an hour-to-hour basis, as it is dependent on how much you already have banked. Now, you are going to need to have a Bitcoin wallet or a Bitcoin address. I'm not going to show you how to set one of them up because, of course, that will come in a separate tutorial. If you want to see more advanced kind of staging into NiceHash Miner and everything else, please let me know in the comments below. I'll do a separate video on that for you guys as it is. But as for now, this is what we're exactly working with. Okay, so this here is giving you the devices that I have got connected. I've got my service location, which will be Europe, and of course my Bitcoin address. Not very hard. Google, watch a few YouTube on it. A YouTube video, a few YouTube videos on it. And of course, down here, you've got your global rates of mining Bitcoin per day. You've got, of course, your average total. I've got it in pounds, obviously, because that's my currency. I've got how much I've previously mined, as it is, and then it comes out to around about £10.41. I've been going for just over 24 hours, guys, and I'm thinking that making £10 odd for just over 24 hours is pretty fantastic as it is. bearing in mind, once you've got all of your components and everything else selected, you will, and I must repeat, you will need to benchmark beforehand. Definitely check that out. Settings, there's nothing really that you need to touch as it is. Maybe just kind of select that, for example, if you wanted to go on through basically the advanced settings of what to actually mine and everything else from there. You've also got your hashing rate here, which is probably the best thing to actually have a look for, as it is. You're looking for as high as possible mega hashes. I don't know what it's doing just here. It's got some type of other currency which I'm not familiar with, so maybe that's a complete fail on my part, but oh well, we'll soon see that. So what we also have is this screen here. Now this is giving you the temperature, the fan speed, and all of the shares that have been found through the GPU mine. As you can see, there is a lot of information here. This is of course coming from GPU 1. That's created at about 281.089 hashes per second. You've got your GPU 0, which has given us of course the 71. Performances do vary on certain GPUs. You know, I've got a reference edition and I've got an overclocked edition. Oh my god, I'm talking too much. Yes, but anyway. But yeah, I've got a reference edition and an overclocked edition for this, and as you guys can see, it's pulling through some lovely currency for myself and then converting it as well. So what we're going to do just now is I'm just going to show you guys a little, for example, what's going on, you know, what's properly happening here. Okay, so on my CPU, we can see that we're using around about 75% of the CPU and it is overclocked to 4.5 gig. It's not bad, you know, it's not the best CPU. It runs, as I say, it's not making me a fantastic amount of, I mean, look, 9 pence a day. 9 pence, that wouldn't even cover electric. So yeah, that 9 pence going approximately with the £5 that you're seeing just now. £5, 10 pence, for example. Let's just say that, right? Okay, whoops, I've got some other calculations on here that I was messing about with earlier. So, as you guys saw, we're going to go on the current one, which is 4.97, okay? So £4.97 times that by 7 for, of course, the days in the week, which will bring you around about £34. Not bad, not fantastic, as I say, but hey, we'll live with that. You then, of course, times that by 4, because of course there's 4 weeks within a month. 139 quid, not bad, not bad. You then times that by, of course, the years of the month in the year, no, the months of year in the year, yeah, that one. Times that by 12, gives you around about £1.50. Now, of course, take away around about 10 to 15% for electrical costs. So, where's the percentage? There we go. £1,400, not bad. And then, of course, whatever cost you put into your rig. So, for example, if you had 2 GPUs, an AMD A10 at 7890K, like I've got, you're talking about £600 for the components as it is, and then of course another 200, 250 for the graphics processing, things, units, that's the one. But anyway, brief overview, you're looking at around about £400 as it is, pure profit for yourself. Now, if you don't add in, of course, the cost of your PC and your components and everything else like that, yeah, that's all fine. But I am going to stress this to you guys. I've wanted to do this for a little while. I am a complete amateur at doing it. And, of course, I do really stress that as it is. But, anyway, guys, as for the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically leave you with that. Just going to check over some of these things and everything else. You know, we've got your GPU side of things going nice and smoothly as it is. You've then got your CPU side of things down here, which gives you like if there's been a block detected, etc. I will be doing a more in-depth video if you guys want that. If, I do stress here, if. Alright? So as you can see, it is volatile. It's very hot. It can get very hot, even up here in Scotland. But hey, deal with it as it is. Well-ventilated area, a few water cools. Be jamming, folks. But anyway, that's going to do it for the minute. Or is it? That's not going to do it for a minute, guys. I've got something else to show you. So, anyway, stay tuned. Do you want to do this?
No.
Okay. So, anyway, guys, you may be wondering as to what is actually going on with Red Zed at this moment in time. You saw an unboxing the other day, but that was only really what you saw. So, basically, what I did was I've taken my 2 RX 470s and I've put them into my mining rig, as you obviously know by now. And because then that would leave me without a PC able to run games, able to play around with benchmarks and everything else for of course up and coming videos that are coming to the channel. So I decided I would purchase a 1060, put that into RedZ, and as you guys can actually see just now, it is looking fantastically amazing. So thank you very much for tuning in, guys. You guys are awesome as always. Do not forget to hit that like button for me, please. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe for more up and coming content. I'll keep you as updated as I can for, of course, mining rig, etc. But anyway, as always, ladies and gentlemen, Zed out. So a few of you may be actually wondering as to where did I get this PC from? What is this just like a reskin of RedZ? No. RedZ has actually been retrofitted with, as you guys saw in a previous video, the GTX 1060 Extreme Gaming, in which you can see here, perfectly sitting in with RedZ. I would not advise you using your current gaming rig for, of course, Ethereum mining or any other type of mining, simply for the fact of it's on 24/7. You're going to have temperatures of 70 plus degrees going through every single part of circuitry, in which I know for a fact that it can handle, but it's going to be going through there every millisecond of the day. And also, I'm generally looking to kind of, I don't mind what happens to my RX cards because I'm going to get Vega anyway. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Links in the description for below. Shit. Cunt, fuck, cunt, fuck.